Well, this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and I'm going to talk to you about something that I'm very ill-prepared to talk to you about, and that's case knives. And I'm going to talk to you, and I just want you to understand my exposure to knives and everything else. My entrance into really knives and pocket knives, other than what my grandfather and every great-grandfather and everyone else had, they all had knives similar to these. That wasn't my background. My background in reality started with a little bitty ass shop called U.S. Cavalry up in Radcliffe, Kentucky, which is a little bit south of Fort Knox. And they had this little bitty shop. It was just the smallest thing, but it was pretty good size compared to what they have on their floor now. And what you do is, as you're going up to the base, you're traveling north on 31W. They had this little shop. You would take a right and go to the dead end, and then you take a right at the dead end, and then their shop was right there, and you took another right. And then years later, they moved out on the main road, which was 31W, and now they have a big building because they do internet sales and all this, that, or the other. But they started very humbly. So that was really my exposure. These were basically something my grandfather and great-grandfather had. Of course, it skipped a generation. My father never carried a pocket knife. Of course, my father was born in, God, 30-something or other. And this, my fascination with case knives actually started with this knife. And the reason I have this knife is because my brother bought it for me. It's a cheetah. And it's the color pattern is Caribbean blue. It's just no longer made, and of course this is a first run cheetah Caribbean blue. And he chose the color, found the knife, and everything. And of course I tried to finish out the set. I'm working on it. It's a process. I've got a mini trapper, a Texas toothpick, a cheetah cub, and which is that knife right there, and then a trapper. So that's basically my introduction into case knives. And I didn't pick the color, but my brother valued it, so I value it, and that's just the way our family works. At least it does if you exist in it still. And I think it's a cool color. We spend a lot of time. I've spent a lot of time in the Caribbean, and it does a great. It's a great way of describing the color, actually. But that's not what this video is about. So my brother actually got me into it with this knife. What this video is about are these two knives. Now, these two knives are a little bit different in their nature, in their design, and in coloration. The first knife, let's go to this one, which is the smaller one. This is actually a Junior Scout. Now, as far as coloration, this, there, or the other, as I said, everyone is going to be way more qualified than me on this. And this is actually a brown jigged bone handle, blade, awl, can opener, and bottle opener and screwdriver. And it has, of course, the hook on it, or has the loop on it. And I got this for nostalgia reasons. Am I going to tell you that it's going to outperform a Swiss Army Farmer? No, I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to tell you is the quality, the design, the engineering, the brass, the stainless steel, it's made in America, and the amount of work that went into the handle and everything outperforms almost everything else. And nowadays in my life, I get to appreciate the value of workmanship, and that's something that I have gotten out of case knives. Now, this is a stainless steel knife, and the next knife I show you is not going to be stainless steel. There are two different variations of case knives. Their description, basically, and I'll show you on this one. Or no, I won't actually show you on this one easily. Is right here. It says case, and then there's an SS there, which stands for stainless steel. Now, same thing on this blade. Now, this is a case knife also, This one is a chestnut hunter, I believe. And as I said, I am way underqualified. I mean, there are people that know this stuff inside and outside and this, that, or the other, and da 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 da, and it's like they'll toast me and fry me in every different way. I may make up shit about other stuff just to try and hide what I understand. But this is truly a topic in which I have very, very limited knowledge. Comes with a fine case, a leather sheath that needs to be treated with oil, but we'll kind of set that aside right now. Now, this is a hunter. The reason I bought this knife was actually because I watched a video on it, and it was by Dave Canterbury with the Pathfinder store, and he has Wilderness Outfitters or something like that. I wish I knew. I ought to be more involved in YouTube. I really should be. But this is a carbon steel knife. And how you can actually tell that, it has two blades. The CV right here, USA CV, chromium vanadium blade. These are more the carbon knife, this, there, or the other. I got both of these knives actually from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. And the reason that's significant is because not only are these knives made in the USA, but Smoky Mountain Knife Works is one of my local gun shops. Now, local to me is within 5 hours. They're actually a little bit closer than that, but just play with me for a second. Now, you can go and watch Dave's videos on these, and he can tell you more about. This one is a small version of a knife that he carried. But you know, this is my exposure to them. I'm giving you the God's honest truth. I wish I could tell you everything about them. This is stainless steel. This is carbon steel, chrome vanadium steel. But they're made in the USA. I got them for, I think, a 20% discount. And it's not a bad gig. If you're interested in knives, case is something that you might need to be exposed to. It's not a tactical model. It's not a this, that, or the other. It's not a lot of things. But what it is it's made in America. It's handcrafted. It's old school. It's a design and patterns and a way of manufacturing that unfortunately we've lost. All except for this company. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and have a good one.